A new ad has been put together by the Republican Accountability Project that is fantastic. It is talking about and advocating for the rule of law and the fact that when it comes to Trump, yes, the rule of law still matters. And apparently it's running in Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Phoenix on Fox News. So this ad will be seen by Fox News viewers, saying a lot of people started to believe, based on the lack of accountability when it came to Trump's actions for so long, that it was not possible. Well, we're seeing accountability is possible, and it's an example of rule of law being upheld, which is a good thing in the United States of America.
When Donald Trump was president, he thought it didn't matter how many laws and norms he broke. He thought it didn't matter how many lies he told the American people. And it seemed like he could get away with anything. And many of us even started saying,
nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters anymore. You can flout the law.
But this wasn't true. Because in America, the rule of law still matters. And that's why Donald Trump has been charged with 91 felonies in 4 separate cases for attempting to steal an election, falsifying business records, and mishandling classified information. We've seen what happens when people start believing nothing matters. That's why it doesn't matter that Donald Trump was president of the United States. It doesn't matter that he is currently running for the presidency. This is America. No one is above the law. That's why it matters that Donald Trump faces consequences for his actions.
Credit to the Republican Accountability Project there, and it will be fascinating to have Fox News viewers see that, because it is trying to, you're not going to get to a MAGA Republican who thinks Trump's the best thing ever. But there are some Fox News viewers who maybe are more excited about some of the other candidates and don't necessarily know if Trump's being wrongly politically persecuted. But that's the default, and that's what's pushed on Fox News a lot. But if you can tap into, hey, you know how your party at least used to constantly say they stood up for the rule of law and cared about law and order and no one's above the law. Now we're seeing that play out. And yeah, it can be uncomfortable. In theory, that sounds a lot nicer. No one's above the law. And if you used to like Trump, or you don't like the sight of a former president being prosecuted, which none of us do, but sometimes it's necessary, then now it could be sort of uncomfortable, but it is the necessary thing to happen. And that is what the line you've been using, no one's above the law, rule of law, law and order, that's what that means when it's applied to everyone. And right here, Trump is a former president, and he's also now a criminal defendant. And that sometimes is going to happen. We've seen it in other countries, and we've seen it in other perfectly stable countries. They'll say this only happens in third world countries. Fact check, false. And it is how a properly upheld justice system, how rule of law looks when you have a leader, a former leader, who conducted themselves the way that Donald Trump did. And so it's actually a hopeful moment for what it means about our system being able to function, even with someone as powerful, well-connected, influential as Donald Trump. Often those people who fit into those characteristics aren't treated the same and are treated better. And that was the two-tier justice system, most prominently, not what they're saying it is, which is Republicans being harmed and Democrats not. And so I like getting that message out to as many Republicans as possible. And you're not going to make them swing over to Biden necessarily, but possibly think twice about throwing their support behind Trump. Who knows? Either way, even if it doesn't make an impact, I like for them to hear that message for sure. And it was unfortunate to see for a second there, people were losing hope that Trump could be held accountable. So this is answering that question of, does it even matter? Does rule of law matter with certain people? Well, apparently it does, and that's good. And on the subject of Trump, we've been waiting to get some polling data on how the debate impacted polls. And we have one Emerson College comparison of pre-debate, post-debate. That's just one poll, not the average of polls, but one poll where there were some pretty significant shifts in polling post-debate because Trump was not there and other candidates got a chance to shine. Take a look at this.
A new national poll shows a bit of a dip in support for Donald Trump following his decision to skip last week's Republican primary debate and to surrender to Georgia authorities and get that mugshot on Thursday. According to the latest Emerson College survey released this morning, Trump's support dropped 6 points from a poll taken earlier this month. The former president, though, still leading his opponents overwhelmingly, as you can see, with 50% of Republicans saying they plan to vote for him in next year's primary. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, former Vice President Mike Pence, saw the biggest bumps in support following the debate, gaining 5 and 4 points respectively, but just up to 7% each.
So it looks like Ramaswamy went down a little bit and Scott didn't budge. Trump saw the biggest dip. The other 4 candidates that I haven't mentioned yet all saw an increase, which is notable, and notable that Trump went down in this one poll 6 percentage points. It is just one poll, not the average of polls, so not as notable as if we saw this with the 538 average. We'll see how that's impacted over time. But definitely, according to this one, it wasn't great for him to not show up, and it gave people an opportunity to possibly increase their interest in the other candidates. Notably, though, it's not one that sucked up all of Trump's lost support. It kind of dispersed across all of the alternatives, which is pretty notable. And Nikki Haley did see the biggest bump there. And like I said, Trump seeing the sharpest dip. So definitely interesting, just one poll, not anything massive. Trump still dominating the field there. But if time goes on, you see this trend continue, maybe things shake up a little bit more than we were expecting. We just don't know. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are able to be uploaded to the YouTube channel, plus get the bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.